Welcome back, Trinity people. We're getting you ready to meditate with us on Wednesday night. This week we are talking about the energy of birth, and it's a super exciting energy. And before we get into it, I'm going to ask you, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, like this video, maybe even leave us a question or a comment. All of these things help us out, help us reach more people, which is what this is all about. Getting a whole bunch of people to meditate on a specific energy and put that into the consciousness. As I said this week, it is the energy of birth. And birth's not hard to understand. We've all had a young nephew or niece that was born and we go, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. This new thing is amazing. That's all birth is really appreciating the newness of stepping into a different space, being a different person than you were a minute ago before you learned this cool fact or before you met this amazing young person who was just born. Whatever it is that transition into the new. The big problem that keeps us from experiencing birth all the time is that we don't realize that birth and death are stapled together. That is to say, to start something new, you must let go of something old. If you decide that you're going to learn Spanish in your free time, then whatever you were doing in your free time, even if it was just sitting on the couch staring into the air, you're going to have to let go of it. And unfortunately, letting go of things is hard for us because whatever it was that's the old thing was originally a new thing, and we were excited about it. And that emotion, that excitement about this new thing carries on with that particular activity, that particular viewpoint, even after it's not a new thing anymore. And when it becomes time to put it aside and move to the new thing, we go, but the old thing, and we have a hard time letting go of it, so we really don't fully experience birth a lot of the time. If it's a huge thing, like you have a baby born, okay, well that'll usually jerk you into a new space. But if you just have the possibility of birthing something, you're going to start a new project, you're going to learn a new skill, you're going to join a new job or meet a new person. These are all possibilities for birth, and we seldom experience them as this wonderful new space because there's a lot of us still focused on the old thing, the way I did things before, the people I knew before, how my old job was. I liked how my old job was. Well, if there's any little shred of I liked how my old job was, couldn't I have some of that back? Then you're missing what could be a brand new, exciting birth experience for you. So we're going to talk today about a way to sort of hack your brain and get you away from what was. To do that, I have a self-defense technique where all of our little videos are based around some sort of martial art or self-defense technique. And this one's pretty simple. Get my training partner out here. We've talked before about the idea that if somebody attacks you, the worst thing you could do is just stand there, right? Even if you know how to block, even if you can bob and weave, if you don't move your feet, you're eventually going to miss one of those things and take it on the chin. So, move is the key thing. Unfortunately, when I say move, a lot of people just back up. If you just back up, then they just keep coming. It's just an invitation to them to throw another punch or a kick or grab at you again. Backing up is bad, standing still is bad. What does that leave us with? Well, lateral movement. Lateral movement. If I throw this punch, Diane wants to move away from it. So it's good to move this way or that way, depending on what's coming. If I throw this one, she wants to move that way. She wants to move away from it. Now, perhaps your opponent has watched a Trinity video or two, and they understand this lateral movement thing. So you try and attack them, and I'm not going to punch them. I'm going to use my heel palm because, once again, I'm not big on punching in self-defense. So I do this, and she's starting to move away. And I do this, and she's starting to move away. And I think, goodness gracious, how am I ever going to defeat this terrible criminal who has somehow watched some Trinity videos and knows about lateral movement? The answer is pretty simple. I do one of these, and then another one of these, and then one of these. You see, your brain's always thinking a bit ahead. And if it gets used to the idea that this moves you that way, then all I have to do is suggest this. I haven't even gotten it fully extended. She's already leaning this way. So if I suggest this, but then do this,
You caught me over there.
you can usually catch the person. This idea, it's called fainting, and it has nothing to do with falling into a swoon. It's F-E-I-N-T, faint. This idea that you go this way, but then finish this way, is very integral to a lot of martial arts. They use it a lot in boxing. They use it in any sort of Muay Thai or any sort of striking art. They'll have you get used to the idea that I start with this, but then I go with this, and the person usually walks right into it because your brain gets used to jumping ahead and going, oh, that's about to happen, I should respond. Oh, that's about to happen, I should respond. And this little mechanism, thank you, Diane, is what we need to use to outwit ourselves when we're attached to the old. I want to start a garden, and I've got all the supplies lined up on my porch. But what I really want to do is just do what I used to do at this time of day, which is sit on the couch and eat a granola bar. You have a feeling. Eating the granola bar, even if it's not good for your weight or your desire to go out and start gardening, it's still in there as a good thing. So you still have positive feelings around it, and you want that, and you don't want the new thing. You're having a hard time experiencing the birth of, I'm going to be a gardener, because sitting on the couch and eating a granola bar is still occupying a large portion of your emotional body. So the way to get around it is this thing that we do here, right? You start, but then you go another way. You faint. You go here, but no, here. And you tell yourself, I'm going to get off the couch and I'm going to go get a granola bar. And once you're up, you go open the door. And even if you sit back down, the door's open now. And it will eventually draw you to go out onto the porch and look through your supplies. And maybe that's all you do at first. But now you've gotten used to going out on the porch and looking through your supplies. Pretty soon you're going to want to put one of those plants in the ground. You're going to want to use some of that potting soil that you've laid out there. It will draw you into the birth of something new if you just get past that initial flinch that says, no, stick with the old. And the way to do that is to fake yourself out a little bit, to faint, as it were. Whatever you're doing, say, I'm going to do a little bit of the old stuff. And as you start to do it, switch and do a little bit of the new stuff. It will take you right into a feeling of birth and right out of your attachment to the old. If you think this stuff's cool, stay tuned for more Trinity.